So they say dress for the job you want, and I find that a bit worrisome. I think people might think I want a job, so I've taken to nudism just to make it really clear I'm not looking for work. Do you know what I mean? But that's caused confusion itself. So I had a few offers, if I'm honest. Okay, I got dumped, but he was one of those 5'7" guys, right? You know the ones I mean. The ones that are 5'5", yeah. It's fine. They're easier to get over, right? You just kind of leapfrog. And I had hoped straight onto the next dick, but it turns out that actually catching a dick in your 40s is nearly as hard as leapfrogging over an adult man. You need to be quite fit for either, and I am not there, so yeah, no, he was one of those guys. He used to say I was bad at spatial awareness, but the thing is, like, you know, I'm 5'2", and like if I put on a 3-inch heel, I know how tall you are, you know. I can do the maths. It's just maths, you know. So yeah, I knew how tall he was. It's just a shame he didn't, but there you go. So yeah, it's fine. He won't see this. He's not subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's kind of annoying though, because like it doesn't matter how many times I forward him the link. It's just not interested. But yeah, like, and it's annoying because I have actually fucked all of the other subscribers. So like, it just feels like a list he should be on. But you know, actually, he wasn't on social media at all. That's right. He was a drug dealer. And honestly, you know, splitting up with your boyfriend's bad, but splitting up with your boyfriend and your drug dealer in 1 week it's brutal, you know. And then you find out you're 40, and like no one plans on becoming a cougar. Like you just suddenly understand why it's a predatory animal. Oh, the prey don't want to get caught. I get it. Like the worst thing is I'm not even the best cougar in my household. Like my mum is 76 and her fella is 40. And that's not even a joke, man. I'm just so proud. So the other weird thing about my ex, and as I've said, don't worry, you won't see this, is that he had really, really tiny balls. And the thing is, like, I really liked it, right? Because it didn't matter what he did, I could still breathe. One of my friends said to me, he was like, I think one of the reasons that you're struggling to catch a dick is because you're an alpha. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I did like the sound of it, you know? Sounded good. Turned out I'd interrupted him, which apparently is very alpha. But what he actually meant to say was that I'm an alphabet-y spaghetti lady. I've got a lot of letters after my name, but I don't make any sense. Yeah, so apparently the MSC is counteracted by the ADHD. And now all of my exes have PTSD. And at least one has an STD, but that's nothing to do with me. My dad's Indian. And I have to tell people that because I'm very fair-skinned for a half-Indian person, but which is actually, I always used to think was the ideal kind of mixed race. Essentially, I can use the diversity call if I need to, but I don't have to wear it out front if it's causing trouble. You know, it's ideal. So I was the only person of colour in my primary school that didn't run a food restaurant. You know, there was one Chinese girl whose family ran a Chinese restaurant and one Indian boy whose family ran the Indian restaurant, and my dad was a criminal, so people didn't know how to categorise us, to be honest. No, so I mean, obviously that's nothing to do with him being Asian, but at the same time, there's a crossover in skill sets. Do you know what I mean? They do like a bargain. It's in the blood. Do you know what I mean? And the best bargain I've ever had is when you just help yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, so criminality is in my blood. It's like I aspire to be working class, but I'm actually chav class. Do you know what I mean? I'm from the criminal underworld, and if it ain't nailed down, I will take it. That's the truth. But I mean, that probably comes more from my Cockney mum, to be fair. No, so the thing is, so my dad was given 6 months to live in May. And in case you can't do maths, we are well fucking past that. And I've got a holiday booked in a couple of months, so it's a bit worrying for me. Will you fucking hurry up and die, dude? Do you know what I mean? And just so you know, I haven't got an inheritance. He's just an arsehole. It's fine. I want him to go. No, he's actually. No, it's fine. I'm really proud of him, actually, because he's really dug in and become a much more belligerent arsehole as he's got older and sicker. So I feel like, that is what I can inherit from him. Because one of the things I tried recently to try and see if it could help me find a man was, and I know my looks are fading, I'm getting older, maybe it's time to try and develop a personality. It has not worked out, because obviously I'm a cunt.
So it's so lovely to be, a double cunt set, really. It's just loving it. I mean, loving it.
Indeed.
Loving it that I can say that, because in Britain, actually, that is an endearing term, right? So see you next Thursday, on Skits and Quibbles.
I mean, I think it depends if it's someone shouting it at you from a bus or if it's one of your oldest friends.
Did you find that difficult growing up? How did you find that? Being different? Because I always found I was different.
I mean, to be honest, being a cunt was more difficult.
That too.
That was always a barrier. But actually, my experience of being half Indian is very strange because I'm quite fair-skinned and because my dad is Anglo-Indian, which means he's from the part of India where they have Western culture. He's Catholic. And they hadn't lived in India for 2 generations, so they actually thought of Indians as the sort of people you might employ. Like, I'm not saying that I think that, but that's just that's my family. So
Catholic, was that Portuguese colony?
Yes, exactly. He didn't think of himself as Indian or even to an extent foreign. When he came to this country, he wanted to integrate so strongly and so deeply that it was never spoken about in my household at all. At all. And it was only I can remember bringing a school friend home at 12 and them acting racist at my dad and me being, oh no. What have I done? My dad's brown, and I've brought someone here to be racist. Brilliant. What a day it's been. Like, it was a huge revelation because it just wasn't discussed or acknowledged in my household that he was not white.
Now, cougar. Cougar. Are you a MILF too?
I don't think
so. Or are you a
MILF? I think some, you know what, it's been so long since anyone tried to chat. Like, my experience is that I'm very scary to men, I think. Like, I'm not good. I'm too forthright. Apparently, just like, so do you want to fuck is not. They don't like that.
They don't?
No. And I'm like, I don't want to waste time flirting if this is just a fuck. Like, we're either doing it or we're not doing it. I don't need let's not waste time on admin. Don't turn it into an admin task.
Yeah, there's no need for paperwork, guys.
There's so much admin on the apps. I don't want to do it. I'm just like, I can't be bothered. I'm just like, yes or no. Is it a yes or a no? I've looked at your pictures. It seems like it could be a yes. Don't talk. Do we fuck or do we not fuck? But apparently that's not a successful strategy for men.
So what makes younger men hot? What makes older men hot? Let's just hear a tip or two.
Oh, I see. I think...
regardless of the size of the balls.
I'm not... Yeah, well, that's... it turns out... So when I first told that joke, someone in the audience who had even tinier or balls came on to me and I was like, dude, I'm not a fucking collector. I'm not like a connoisseur of small balls. It's not a thing.
Loving it.
I honestly... surely it's got to be the brains is the most of it. If you connect with someone, if you have that spark and you can have a laugh and then that's attractive.
They can fuck your brain,
It really doesn't matter what they look like that much. Yes. I mean, obviously, if you can feel them when they're inside you, that is also a bonus.
Wonderful. Brilliant advice and witty and hilarious at the same time. Joe Phaure, everybody. Wonderful.